So this is what we're doing. I think it's going to come out all right. It's one piece inch slab. Kind of worried about keeping the middle line. Kind of worried about keeping the right shape. I just half-assed drew it. Got one of these things. And dragged out some old neck blanks, but I'm very much considering using Spanish cedar. But then I don't know. I keep on wanting to make stuff that I can fly internationally with. But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard not to use this stuff. I mean, it sucks to inhale. It sucks to work with. But well, actually, it's easy to work with. It just sucks to inhale it. But yeah, I got some nice quarter sawn pieces right here. These are for neck blanks, and then I picked these pieces out for body blanks. I really thought them little microphone things were unbreakable, but somehow I lost all the audio to this. But oh well. Um, I sped it up anyways. So yeah, I usually start out the project by cutting out a top with the jigsaw. I mean, you should do it with a bandsaw, but I don't have a bandsaw. And you know, for the one-piece tops, could you get into the whole thing with the bandsaw? You can only cut such a wide piece. So it comes in handy. This is about an inch thick, rock hard maple, curly maple, very beautiful. This is the first like three-dimensional acoustic type top that I'm carving. Um, it's going to be a nylon string. I'm building two of these, so as you've seen that in the first part, I already got I already got the second one drawn out, but one is definitely going to be a steel string, and this one is going to be a nylon, I believe. I haven't planned it out too much. Um, you see here, I end up making a jig to to route the inside for the neck, and then the top part of the top I cut by hand, and then I chisel out, just to bulk it out because it was so hard once I got into that pocket. But I wasn't really afraid of damaging anything inside there. But on the top, I kind of was. Like, this is very hard wood, and you have to be kind of careful about stuff breaking. I always do a little bit of shaping or take the bulk off with an angle grinder, and then from there it's sandpaper. I didn't use an orbital sander on this yet, or at all, really. I mean, I just took a piece of pipe and wrapped a piece of sandpaper around it, and but yeah, I was torn between radiusing this in 2 dimensions or 3 dimensional like a bowl, and buying expensive radius equipment, and or I don't know what I would do for the 2 dimensions. I think I would just rig something up. But this piece of wood was so straight, and I've had it for years. The other one's like this too, and it didn't move or didn't budge. It's still just perfectly, perfectly straight and true. So it is quite the piece of wood. It is quite hard, and as you see later in the video, I circumvent buying like expensive radius discs, or just doing a whole bunch of work sanding and grinding uh, by using tape. So I basically I got this marker thing that marks a 1/4 inch. After I was done smoothing out the sides, I marked it all the way around, And then I took the marker gauge, which was about like a 1/4 inch, and then I took it to a roll of blue tape until I had a whole bunch of tape that was just a 1/4 inch. And then I went around the thing and basically made it so it curves. So it's not a flat top. Because there's a look of something, you know, you get something so big and you see that it's flat and straight, and it kind of looks almost toyish when you get something like that. And I wanted to do something that was, you know, kind of elegant, but I didn't want to have to buy an expensive radiusing dish. So, and this is what I do to get the corners right. I use a sanding block for the parts that are outside round, and then the inside round I use this little pipe dealy with a piece of sandpaper on it. Maple sand's really good. It doesn't waste sandpaper. Some wood has like silica in it, like the cedar, even though it's soft and it carves nice, it really dulls the blade fast. Um, but this stuff was so hard, I mean, I had trouble cutting it anyways. Um, I start off with a dull chisel, but I end up sharpening it, you know, 10 times, and then I grab another one, sharpen that one, and then finally find something that works. But every year I get into doing the chiseling or whatever, and man, it really, you gotta have strong hands. My hands are quite soft, and I have a blister on my thumb from the. This is the jig that I made, and I put a piece in between to stop. But yeah, so the neck travels through the body, and then the body travels, you know, a 1/4 inch through the blank, but it bends, and you have to kind of know how and where it bends. So the thought behind this, I had to think about this for a long time. I think one thing that building items does is it builds a practical mind. Like you have to be practical, and you have to do something in a practical way, and you have to achieve a result. Um, the three-dimensional imaging in your mind when you imagine something, I mean, I think that's extremely healthy for a person. And every time I do one of these, I kind of grow. So you can see my work, and some of it's cool. And I definitely got stuff that I haven't showed you that I've built. But I mean, we all come from some place. And the first thing that I built wasn't very extravagant. And I knew this, so I shot low. And but then I've been doing this for a while, so I'm kind of ready to do what I'm doing now. I'm just leveled the blank off, installed that piece in there, and now I'm routing. This isn't the best jig, and I would have made something that would have been slightly better if I had to stay within the tolerance. But the whole inside gets gutted, so I didn't really have to worry about making a mistake. But the thing is I mean, if you did have to route the perfect hole, you would have to make something a little bit better than what I made here. But I didn't. I'm sledding this the middle 3 inches to the bridge, so the neck will glide up the body because the body rises from the lower 1/4 inch to the top 1/4 inch through the entire inch blank. Um, so yeah, I'm checking it. Very beautiful pattern that it makes. Very gorgeous grain. And when you cut it on the bias like that, it makes the grain pop a little bit more. So I'm expecting this to look really good when it's done. Very, very hard. Cuts good, but cuts like iron. It was work to cut it. So yeah, basically I slice it 4 times, and I'm still about, still a good ways from the line. But I got it blanked out pretty good, and I didn't want to take it all the way down to where it has to be in one day. Like I want, I want the final product to take some time, I mean, I was thinking, this is going good. You could really, you know, do this in not too much time. But then I thought, well, you're taking off all that wood, it's going to change. Just take it off easy and do this with time. So I'll get to a point where I'm probably good with this, and then I'll hang it up and start the other one. I've been buying tuners, and the bridge piece I got has a piezo in it, so this isn't going to have any magnetic pickups in it. It's just going to have the piezo in the bridge and nylon strings, classical headstock, and then yeah, the other one will be kind of the opposite. I'll either have a Les Paul style headstock or a Fender style headstock. I haven't decided. So yeah, you can see I'm sharpening it every once in a while, trying to get it as sharp as possible because this stuff is it's like a rock. And it's interwoven and the grain is super curly, wants to chip out. So, and you got to kind of cut it from the side to actually get in the grain, but you'll find that there's a way that the chisel cuts a little bit better. And I just couldn't possibly get the chisel sharp enough for this stuff. Camera fell. So yeah, was a lot of work, but I bulked it out, and then I thought, well, it's going to take time to mess with that again. Next time I'll make it so I can set it up more than once, which I had to, I just glued it to the tape. I didn't put tape on it and glue tape to tape. So, which I mean, if you want to keep something, then that's what you're going to have to do. Now, I still got a pretty decent layer on this thing, even after I get done sanding it. But like I said, that last little bit will, I'll blank it out and let it sit. Sits right in the house. I don't let this sit out in the cold. This wood is sat for years upstairs in the loft. I've probably had the piece, or these two pieces for the tops for 5, 6, 7 years at least. You can see I got the tape too on the sides, so that little piece of 1/4 inch tape, and now you can do whatever you want with it. So you can curve the line, and you can curve the blank and give it the illusion that it's curving, because I guess in the end it actually will be curving. But then I just had a problem with the 2-dimensional radius, because I have boards that are good for tops that are this big that have a curve to them, so that I wouldn't have to do much to. So I kind of had a problem with putting all that work in, and I wanted a 3-dimensional bowl radius, but I just didn't think that an inch blank was enough. And I think we're done here. Okay, bye.